I've worked for many years in Guatemala. In fact, this is my 40th trip coming down to work here. But I was working in the garbage dump in Guatemala City for many years, and it's with the indigenous population, but they're living in an urban environment. And a friend of mine who works with ALDEA said, "You know a lot about urban poverty, but you should learn about rural poverty in Guatemala." So I said, "Sure, next time you go out to a village, I'll go along." So she took me to a village, the village of Chipastor, and when we got to the village, all of the villagers were gathered under a tree. And I'm going, "Sue, you've set me up." And she said, "Yeah, I did tell them that I was bringing a Rotarian to visit." And in Guatemala, folks know that Rotarians are ones that do a lot of projects. So the women, what I remember most is it was the elderly women standing up and talking about their need for water and how they were spending, with their daughters and their granddaughters and some young children, up to 4 hours a day hauling polluted water up from the river. And the water was so polluted that the fish were dying. So they expressed a desire for water, and they had been working with ABPD for a number of years. They worked with the municipality. They had a plan all drawn out for a gravity-fed water system. They'd already purchased springs in the mountains to provide the water. All they needed was a little bit of money for the cinder block, for the pipes. They were going to do all of the work themselves. I was so impressed. So on the way back from the village with Sue, I'm saying, "Listen, I have the money and I'm looking for a new project, and I am so impressed with this." And because it's a partnership with, ABPD, with the village, with the municipality, it could be with Rotary. And so I said, "You need to tell me other Rotarians that are involved." And she gave me a list, and I went down the list to find one that was in a pilot district like Guatemala was, so we could do this project. Found a wonderful Bruce out in Utah. And so together we wrote a grant for a water and sanitation project there. And I was completely hooked. Right from that 2010 project, we did a large water system in one village. And 2014, we did 2 more small villages. 2017, 2 more villages. But what keeps me coming back and what keeps me involved is the program, because it's a program. ABP doesn't go to villages and say, "We can help you, this is what we can give you." ABPD waits for the villages to come to them, and because they see what's been going on in other villages, and then they have meetings with the villages so that the villagers themselves say, "These are our problems, and this is how we can solve the problem." And then ABPD says, "Yeah, we could partner with you on that." And then Rotary gets involved, or other donors get involved, municipalities, etc. And I mean, it's a model program. In fact, that first grant that I did with Chipastor, the Rotary Foundation, because it was a new kind of project, these new global grants, they selected it as a best practice. And so I know the model is great because it's community-led and because it's results-driven. So there's so much assessment going on, and the program is always improving. That's one reason. Another reason is because climate change is a real issue. And if all the good that we can do, if we don't address climate change, it's sort of pointless. Well, it's a slight exaggeration, but so I love the fact that ABPD works on climate change and in adopting the agriculture to deal with the fact that, I mean, it's surprising that Guatemala is one of the countries that's most affected by climate change. I mean, it makes no sense to me. we're talking, we're over a mile high in the villages that we're working in, but it's the storms coming in from the Atlantic and from the Pacific. And, some year, the dry belt is widening in the country, more drought, but also more floods. So being able to change the agricultural techniques to adapt to that. But this most recent trip down here, seeing the change over the years and the work of ABPD, what struck me the most was the members of the alcalde and like the assistant mayors in the villages all carry a black wooden cane with a metal tip on the top. It's a sign of their authority. And when I saw a young Maya with her baby on her back, with the cane of authority as the assistant mayor, and then I was talking with her, and I was trying to get a picture of the baby holding the cane too. I mean, as a sign of the future of Guatemala, the future leadership of Guatemala. And at first, the baby was not she wasn't helping us in this. And the mother and I are joking that she's not ready to accept all of that responsibility. But I mean, it's just seeing that change and the increasing leadership of women in the villages is, for me, one of the things that really makes me continue.